Baseball and Whatever, with your host, Justin McAwee.
Because I was on campus and I had to appear like I was one of the cool kids, I would put the Star Wars book inside one of my textbooks so it looked like I was just studying for class.
All right, look, there's only one return, okay? And it ain't of the king, it's of the Jedi.
Vincent Francis Jankowitz IV.
I'm a glorified fact checker.
Last I checked, the most runs in a game wins.
Actually, I am a fact checker.
And Greg Probst.
If you look at most Bond fans movie rankings, they have Casino Royale and Majesties in their top two. For me, these actually rank in the bottom part of my list. I mean, I love them, but they don't compare to Diamonds Are Forever.
No, stop getting Bond wrong!
What's up, everybody? It's Thursday night. That's Baseball and Whatever time. Episode 87, Baseball, and it's a mystery this week. I honestly don't know what it's going to be. This has been suspenseful all week for me. Vinny, how are you? Hi.
I'm doing great. I'm glad it's been suspenseful
It's
for
been
you, and I'm glad that
suspenseful.
it's eating away at you because it's bringing me joy.
I don't consider myself a control freak. Do you consider me a control freak?
I won't answer that.
I like knowing what's gonna happen. I think I like.
That's, I think, borderline control.
I'm very
freak there.
type A. Very type A, we'll put it that way. So okay, last week after the show ended, Vinny and I were like, hey, I shouldn't say Vinny and I was like, Vinny, I'll think of a topic for this week. And he said, oh no, Justin, don't worry. I've got this covered. And I said, oh, okay, well, what should I prepare? What should I make the thumbnail for? And he's like, well, I can't tell you. It's a surprise. You'll have to wait and see. So Vinny has promised me a guest of epic proportions. Could it be someone famous? I don't know. Could it be a family member? Maybe, probably. I don't know. I have no idea who
I
this
have
is.
not promised anything of epic proportions. I just said I had a guest lined up.
All right, well,
you are building this up in your head.
This is just like the Avengers and Batman versus Robin and Batman versus Superman and all that stuff all over again. So at some point, our special guest will come on. I don't know who it is. I don't know if there's going to be a topic. I don't know if Vinny has something prepared of what we're going to discuss. At one point, Vinny told me to get some pieces of paper and a marker. So I'll be honest, right before we started, Vinny, I ran upstairs and got paper and a marker because I didn't know if you were kidding. Because at this point, I cannot be sure of what's real and what's fake. I'm all
Are you
over
wearing
the
your
place.
Oops, I Crap My Pants?
I am. My Saturday Night Live special edition ones. Yes, exactly. So
Perfect. Good. That's
good to
for
go.
when the guest comes on that you can crap
All
your
right.
pants and then we can
I'm
go
trying
on.
to think. You look like you're a little dressed up, Vinny. Are you like dressed up for a guest, or are you just?
No,
can't
I
tell what
have
you're wearing.
a sweater on.
Oh, it looked like you had like a suit
It's
coat on.
cold down here. I'm in my basement.
okay.
It is freezing down here.
I'm in my basement too.
I have a sweater on.
All right, fair enough. All right, so I don't know what we're going to be discussing, but before we get to the special guest, whenever they make their grand entrance, we do have some baseball talk. We'll wrap up. We got the Super Bowl next week. It looks like we're going to be lucky enough. We're going to have Jordan on again. If you guys don't remember who Jordan is, he helped me host. I believe we did best football helmets when Vinny and Greg were out. He is a diehard Cincinnati.
Right.
He is a diehard Cincinnati Bengal fan, so he's going to come on next week. We'll do kind of a post-mortem autopsy on what went wrong with the Bengals this week when they lost, and maybe just do a little bit of a Super Bowl discussion because, honestly, we're getting to that point in the year where the Bulls and the Blackhawks are going to be taking their all-star breaks. Spring training hasn't started yet, and once the Super Bowl's going, there's nothing really else to discuss. So we'll do a deep dive on that next week. Probably that'll be our fun little topic for the week. Maybe we'll talk Super Bowls of past, but enough lollygagging. If you want to write into the show, feel free to do so. You can reach us in a variety of ways. Tweet us at baseballandwhat. You can email the show baseballandwhatever@gmail.com. You can listen to us on any podcast app of choice. Leave us a 5-star review if you like. We did have a review from, hold on here, I will pull this up in 1 second. We did have a new review from our Apple podcast feed, and that was from, hold on. That was from, we have Vinny, we have two new reviews and listeners. Josh wrote in, said, great podcast about baseball and whatever. I thought I found a great baseball podcast, and I did, but listening to the podcast gives me entertainment of not just listening to baseball talk, but all kinds of topics. Vinny, we are entertaining. Isn't that nice?
That's shocking.
It is shocking.
I'm shocked.
And then we also got a review From C2648, I don't know who that is. The Baseball Go-To Show. Great stuff from the guys. One of the must-listen podcasts on the internet. Thank you very much. I don't know who that is.
Too kind.
Could be too kind. Too kind. So thank you for writing in. And if you want, we are now on TikTok. I don't really know how to make good TikTok, so they're not very good, but feel free to follow us there at Baseball and Whatever. Instagram at Baseball and Baseball and Whatever on Instagram. And you can text or leave us a voicemail at 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. All right. So this is episode 87, famous 87s in Chicago sports.
Let's hear 'em, Justin.
I'm guessing they got to be all football players, right?
Not all.
No,
most.
Really?
And by most, I mean only one other team has an 87.
Oh, Ed O'Branovich was a number 87.
For who?
Ed O'Branovich for the Chicago Bears.
For the Bears?
Yes. Greatest. At least according to the website I just Googled, said Ed O'Branovich was number 87.
Come on now. Yes. I didn't realize you were on Bears. I thought you were going to guess the other team.
Oh,
I'm looking at that team, and I'm like, Ed O'Branovich is not
I just know
there.
he's on WGN Radio for pre- and post-game on the Bears, and it's great to hear him and Dan Hampton just, I don't know, have a coronary every time the Bears lose. So that's always a good time.
Yes, but you are right. He was a Bear from 1962 to 1971. So 9 years with the Bears.
All right. That's all I got. I don't have anybody else for you.
Okay, the Cubs had one, Eric Castillo, 2021.
No.
Catcher?
How many games did he play?
Nope. Probably
One?
four. Total of four games. 9 plate appearances.
Yeah. Okay. No, I can't.
No.
Can't say I know them.
Okay.
No.
That was the only one for the Cubs. That was the only other team besides the Bears. Now, for the Bears, there's quite a few 82s. 87s. I'm going back. 87s. The one that you should remember from our time is Muhsin Muhammad.
Oh, yeah. He was a former Carolina Panther, came to Chicago. Yep. He was a pretty good receiver from what I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was good. They kind of got him at the tail end of his career.
That's the Chicago
but he was still good.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, they can't develop any of their own talent, so they got to take him at the end of their.
Take it. Exactly.
Yep. Kellen Davis, the tight end from, I think he was with Michigan State, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
He was drafted.
That sounds familiar. Yeah.
He is a Super Bowl champ.
Really?
Did not get it with the Bears. I think he got it with the Seattle Seahawks, if I remember correctly. So
okay.
Yes, it was. It was with Seattle, 2013. So good for him. Not with the Bears though. Justin Gage, you remember Justin Gage?
Yes, another wide receiver, right?
Yes. Ricky Prohl was
Bear. Ooh, he Oh no, I'm thinking of Mark Chmura. Never mind. I was say Ricky Prohl. I was going to say something bad, but I think I'm thinking of Mark Chmura.
Ricky Prohl, 2-time Super Bowl champ with the Rams.
Okay.
And
yep.
the
That's what I'm
Patriots,
thinking of.
I think.
Yep.
Or no, it's just the Rams.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see here. Ricky Prohl, Steve Mannery. I don't know who that is. I don't know why I said his name. Adam Shaheen. That was the one I was looking at.
Oh, Adam Shaheen. He was supposed to be like junior Rob Gronkowski, and look how that turned out. So, that guy. He's still in the league though, isn't he?
He was. He's still with the Dolphins. I think he's still with them. Oh no, he didn't make the team this past year. 2021 was his last year with the Dolphins. Nothing for 2022 on a stat sheet. Jesper Horsted. He's wearing it.
I remember the
past
name.
Year.
I remember the name.
Yep. He's still wearing it. And then let's see. Tom Waddle wore it.
Oh yeah.
1944 or 1994.
Yes.
God, I keep screwing up my dates here. 1994, not 1944.
Yes, he is still a big deal in Chicago. He's on Waddle and Sylvie on AM 1000 ESPN radio. Used to listen to them a lot. I don't really listen to them too much anymore. Pretzel Vince in the chat says hot tubs and Mark Chamorro do not go together. That is very true. Very true. I don't know what else to say after that. Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. Emery Moorhead was a 1982 to 1988 was another notable Bear. Steve DeLong and Harlan Hill. Oddly enough, Henry Hill's great uncle.
Really? No.
No.
Okay, fair enough.
Other than that's about it. I don't think I really missed anybody else. No, I didn't. So that is it for 87s.
All right. Well, let's moving right along. I don't think we had any comments, YouTube stuff. Oh, I take that back. We do have one. My lovely mother, she let me know that she wrote in, and I missed her post last week about her top 5 movies from 007, from 2007. So let me pull them up. One of them was Knocked Up, which we talked a little bit about last week. That's a movie. I need to go back and watch that because I remember it being okay, and I know we discussed that last week.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay, so my mom actually wrote in. She said 6. She had Because I Said So. I'll be honest, I have no idea what movie that is. Number 5, Ocean's 13. Ocean's 13 was definitely a consensus pick, I think, amongst a lot of us. Number 4, Knocked Up. Number 3, The Bucket List. I believe that was...
Oh, yeah.
Who was that? That was...
Jack
was it
Nicholson, Morgan Freeman.
Okay, did not see that. Number 2, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. I have not seen that movie. Adam Sandler and Kevin James. And then number 1, and I forgot, this was a decent movie. I remember watching this quite a few times. Dan in Real Life. Do you remember Dan in Real Life?
No, never saw it.
Steve Carell he goes back to visit his family. I think he ends up dating his brother's girlfriend, and it's like a whole big thing with the family. So yeah,
okay.
I remember it being okay. It was like right at that cusp of when he was trying to break out and do more movies as opposed to just The Office. So there you go. There's our one comment for the week. Vinny, should we jump over to? We do have some different takes, some hot takes this week. You want to talk about them?
Sure.
All right.
Greg's hot takes.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on!
Hell yeah.
All right, want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts!
All right, so it's been quite a while since we've had some hot takes, but Vinny, I see in the Google Doc, your first one is you have a review of She-Hulk, which was on Disney Plus, and you finally got around to watching it.
I did. I finished it actually last night, the night before.
Okay.
Pleasantly surprised with it. Different from what their normal Marvel stuff has been. They break the fourth barrier,
wall.
Right? Is that what it's called when
Fourth wall? Yeah.
The actors talk to the audience? So She-Hulk does that during the show. So I liked it. I didn't really have an opinion on it. I didn't know what to expect when I was watching it, but I enjoyed it from beginning to end. It was good. So if you like Marvel and you haven't gotten around to watching She-Hulk, I recommend watching it. It was a pretty good show. Nothing earth-shattering. They had some really good cameos, I think, in it. But yeah, it wasn't jaw-dropping, I don't think, in any means, but it's a lot of fun and entertaining from beginning to end.
If you were somebody who hasn't watched any of them besides kind of casually listening to WandaVision while you're half asleep and your wife's watching it, which one would you recommend I jump to first if I had time, which I don't, but if I was going to go back and watch one of these, what would you recommend? Like Loki is the one that I'm very curious about.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I really enjoyed Hawkeye.
Okay.
I thought that was good, but you should save that for Christmas time since it's a Christmas series.
Yeah.
Because it takes place during the holidays. And yeah, I would start off with Loki. I'm trying to remember all of them. And then I would probably do Loki, not taking into account if you save Hawkeye till Christmas, Loki, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Then I would do She-Hulk and then WandaVision.
Okay.
Yeah. I think She-Hulk would, if you're doing it in that order, She-Hulk would be a good, as our buddy Shaggy Von Doom would say, a palate cleanser for the Marvel, because it's very different than what they normally do. And then go into WandaVision.
Okay.
Because WandaVision's kind of depressing.
Yeah,
really.
from what I saw, I got the gist of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. So okay, I don't know if you saw too.
And then if you're just doing them in some random order, then I would probably do Loki because it's probably the best of the bunch. Then WandaVision, palate cleanse with She-Hulk, and then go into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because Falcon and the Winter Soldier is really good. And I think She-Hulk would be a nice transition from the kind of the darkness of WandaVision. So
I don't know if you saw, but I know we're talking Marvel here, but DC kind of came out with James Gunn, and I can't remember who the other guy is, but they kind of broke down their 10-year plan for the DC movies. Do you have any, and TV shows for that matter, do you have any excitement for that, or no? Is that just me?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, they've been really good with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I'll have to take it by I think, a movie by movie basis until they kind of get their footing. Definitely don't really care for any Superman stuff that they put out.
No,
I'll be interested if they do Batman, stuff, and try to watch some of the other stuff. But yeah, I could care less about Superman.
I looking through some of the stuff. Creature Commandos is an animated series. Waller, which seemed interesting. They're going to get Viola Davis to come back as Amanda Waller. Have some of the other Suicide Squad and Doom Patrol people make an appearance as well. Suicide Squad, I did not like either one of them. The last one I really disliked, which was odd because that one got rave reviews. The Superman Legacy movie, I have no interest in Superman. The Green Lanterns live-action show, I might be willing to give a shot. I don't know much about Green Lantern, so I would be willing to try that. The Authority is another, Avengers-style show, but they have, a gray area. It almost sounds like The Boys to a certain extent. They did announce there's going to be a movie, The Brave and the Bold, based on that comic run from Batman, and it's going to be Batman and Robin. But this Robin is the Robin that is Damian Wayne, which is actually Batman's son that he doesn't know he had, with Talia al Ghul. So that's kind of cool because I've read a little bit about that character, and this version of Robin is like a complete asshole, and he's like a kid because obviously he doesn't know. He was trained as an assassin in the League of Assassins for the whole run until he realizes that's his dad. So that could be kind of cool, and that's going to be separate from Matt Reeves' Batman. This is going to be a different Batman. It's not going to be Robert Pattinson. It's not going to be Ben Affleck. So I don't know who that's going to be. And then the only other one that kind of piqued my interest, because I remember I had the action figures as a kid, is they're going to make a Swamp Thing movie. Do you know anything about Swamp Thing?
No.
No, I just remember they were awesome action figures, and for the longest time I didn't even know they were DC related. So we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, I got a couple things that we watched a couple episodes of this week. Were you a big fan of That 70s Show when you were younger?
Yeah, a little bit. I didn't get fully into it, but I mean, I think it was a show that would be on from time to time, and I'd watch it when it was on. It was a good show.
I really liked it up until Topher Grace's character left. It got really dumb after his character left. But I really enjoyed it. And so that 90s show premiered on Netflix, I think last week or 2 weeks ago. Your sister and I sat down to watch it. It was cool to see the original characters come back. The rest of the show is garbage. It's not good.
Really?
It's the new cast of kids, and maybe this is because I'm 35 watching this now. Oh, it's so cringy. It's so bad. But anytime the original cast is on, it's it falls right back into that they got such great chemistry, and then they cut to just a scene with just all the kids, and it's I don't give a shit about any of these kids. So
yeah, is there any good 90s nostalgia in it?
They had one cast member singing "You Ought to Know" by Alanis Morissette, and that was about it. Yeah. Because it takes place in 1995.
I can hear Kevin Malone sing that on The Office, so I'm good.
You. I don't know. It's a great scene in that show. All right, two other hot takes. Number 3, I guess, in this case, or number 4 if you're counting. Groundhog's Day is today. Can I just take this moment to get on my platform and say Groundhog's Day is the stupidest thing in the world? I wish they would just leave the poor animal in his little hutch. It's so dumb.
Other breaking news. Water. Wet.
I was having this conversation with somebody at work. I'm like, okay, it's going to see its shadow if it's cloudy out. Why are we still going through the rigmarole of dragging this poor animal out of his house, wherever groundhogs live?
Dude,
I don't know. It's stupid.
Yeah, but I mean, they don't even wait for him to come out. They pull him out.
No, they pull him out themselves. Yeah, and if it's cloudy,
there's no it's just a
tradition.
Tradition. I guess you call that just
and it's
for pomp and circumstance. Pretty much.
And I just all right. If it's cloudy out, he's not going to see his shadow. If it's sunny out, he's going to see his shadow. That's not really. I know it's just all for fun, but it's there's a lot of people that really still take this seriously, which isn't surprising.
Really?
But yeah, from what I've seen on Twitter, but yeah, but
Oof.
Twitter's a cesspool in general. So, all right.
Yes.
The only other thing I was gonna say is I am super excited. The Bare Naked Ladies are going back on tour. They are on my bucket list of bands I have not seen yet. They are going to be at Northerly Island in Chicago, so I am pumped to get tickets. And Vinny, Erica said she would go with me to see them because she knows who they are. She has no interest in going to see Dave Matthews, though, who is also coming to Northerly Island in, I think, July. So I got to convince you or convince Gretchen to let you go, and we got to get Greg in on this, too. I've never seen Dave Matthews live. I want to see Dave Matthews live. So I need to go with, I don't want to be a first-timer by myself. I got to bring somebody who knows what to do and who's experienced, so.
I mean, it's just going to a show. It's nothing.
I know, but still, I'm making more out of this. This is what I do, Vinny. I make a bigger deal out of things than I do. So I'm excited for that. I'm hoping to hit both those this summer. All right. Unless you have anything else, I think we're ready to talk baseball.
I had something, but I totally forgot. So we can move right along to baseball.
All right, let's do
Baseball.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball. Sort of.
Taking a look at Chicago's two favorite teams and other happenings around the MLB.
All right, stop the presses. Mark Leiter Jr. has been re-signed to a minor league contract by the Chicago Cubs after he was DFA'd last week. I am not in. What? He's fine. I don't know. I was. Anytime I saw him
good
starting,
out of the bullpen last
year. Out of the bullpen,
he was
yes.
Not good as a starter.
Anytime I saw him as the probable for the starting pitcher, I'm like, well, that's not a game I'm going to watch because by the third inning they're going to get blown out. But like you said, out of the bullpen, not bad. And I was kind of surprised when he wouldn't accept the designation for assignment. And now they've re-signed him to a minor league contract, which is exactly where he would have went as if he was DFA'd. I don't know how that works. All right, but the more important thing, cooler thing. Go ahead. What do you want to say?
I was going to say, well, if he's doesn't he get a chance to be a free agent and then see what other offers are out there?
Yeah, I think you're right. That makes more sense.
So I'm sure he was probably just getting spring training invites and stuff like that, and so he probably figured, well, this is the best deal.
So. But more exciting news, Dexter Fowler announced this week he has officially retired, no longer with the St. Louis Cardinals. And in probably more shocking news is he is joining the booth for the Cubs on Marquee. Is he doing pre or post game, or what's their plan for him?
I have no idea. I just saw that he was joining the booth. I thought he was going to be doing play-by-play. They do like a 3-man booth?
Yeah, that's another thing I don't like about Marquee is they have like these weeks where they just bring in like guest guys into the booth and that's it. So like they've had Mark Grace in the booth, if I'm not mistaken, for a couple games, and that gives JD a break, or if it's somebody doing the play-by-play, it'll give Bukshambi a break, which maybe is as bad as a Cubs fan. I'm kind of over Bukshambi. He doesn't really do it for me. He's fine. And maybe it's just from listening to him do, baseball, Sunday Night Baseball or Monday Night Baseball when they would have national games, but it's like, I don't know. He's fine. Yeah. It's like, I don't know.
You miss Len, don't you?
I miss Len. Len Casper did a good job. And rightfully, he had every right to leave because he wanted to do radio. I get that. So, but yeah, so that'll be interesting. If he does pre and post, I know they had Sean Marshall, if you remember him. He was doing pre and post for the Cubs for a while. Marshall. Oh, God. There was a couple other guys that literally played like 1 year. They were bench guys, and they've been showing up on pre and post game for Marquee. There is going to be some very interesting stuff. Bally Sports, which is really, really gained a lot of steam nationwide, they're kind of being delinquent on their interest payments, so they might be going bankrupt, which would mess up all the regional sport networks that Bally owns. And Marquee does have a deal. Yes. And Bally and Marquee have some stuff together, so that could pose a problem. We'll see what happens there. And also, this might be good for you, Vinny, is that supposedly Marquee in the next month is going to offer a streaming option on their app for anybody throughout the country that would like to watch Cubs games.
For free or small fee?
No, it's for it'd be like a net fee. It'd be like a streaming service fee, but you would get Cubs in Marquee. So,
oh well, if they do that, then maybe depends on what it's going to cost. I don't want to pay more than if we're talking $10, like I feel like for it.
I feel like for something you're probably only going to watch for a couple hours a day, I could see like $5.99. Like I think that would be reasonable. If we're getting over 10, that's a ripoff. Yeah,
but then again, am I going to be blacked out?
Right, because you're not in the Chicagoland area. That would be something you'd have to look into.
I would not like that.
No, I know. I just
saw like living in Iowa, pointless.
Oh, it's like a dead zone out there. And I know Netflix just announced their big thing they're rolling out to stop password sharing too. I don't know if you saw that, but
I did not. So I don't share my Netflix password.
With my parents I do, and my sister I do.
Oh, okay.
But I use my parents' YouTube TV, and they use my Netflix.
You share it back and forth?
Yeah, we share it, yeah. And then I think my sister uses my Disney Plus, too, because I have the ESPN and Hulu bundle with that. So I'm trying to get Erica to ditch Netflix, because I don't watch anything on there whatsoever. She's the one that watches a lot of stuff on there. So, all right.
Our kids the Cubs watch a lot of Netflix stuff.
Well, I'm thinking maybe as Maddie gets older, it'll be good to have. But I don't know. It's like we got Disney, we got Hulu. YouTube TV has been great, and just recording anything on there has been wonderful. But yeah, I don't know, so we'll see. I kind of feel bad, but there's not much else Cubs stuff to say. Do you got anything else for the Cubs?
No, I don't.
Right. Real quick, switching gears to the White Sox, we got more reports that Eloy Jimenez is going to be playing outfield and will not be the DH only. That we talked
about that
last week too. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, there's not really much else to say there. It's just is what it is. Nothing else has really come out. But you're looking at your possibly 2 to 3 time a week right fielder, depending on how Oscar Colas does as well. And that's a lot to put on a kid. We'll see what happens. But we're
at 24, 25 years old. So. He's not really a kid. It's not like he's 19, 20 years old. So
no, but I mean, like somebody still getting
should be ready at this point.
He should.
I mean, it's just again, it's sad and pathetic for a team that's in its technically their window that they're banking on some rookie to provide them meaningful at bats. And it's just,
do you even consider them in the World Series window anymore? I don't even consider them. I think that window is shut.
I mean, technically, yes. They're hoping. I mean, if they have bounce back seasons from almost everybody, then I guess. I mean, they're still in that window. It's just hard to see. I mean, you're hoping for a bounce back. It's not like, they were building on, something and then a couple bad injuries. I mean, they had some bad injuries, but they also had bad play from a lot of guys. And I guess, was it all, I mean, we're going to find out, was it all Tony? Was it actually these guys not being good and, taking a step back, and that's where they're going to be regressing? I don't know. A lot of people that are optimistic believe I feel like they believe it was all Tony and that Pedro's gonna, bring him to the promised land, but we'll see. It's, I mean, we'll see.
We shall see is right. All right. The Athletic, which if you haven't subscribed, I feel like a shill here, but they great stuff. And if you can find they do deals every couple weeks for either $1 a month or $2 a month. Really good writing pieces, and the app is decent too. But they came out with their offseason grades for all 30 AL and NL teams. The Cubs, Vinny, the Cubs got a B ranking, which I think is pretty fair. I think that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Would you say that's about right?
Yeah, I think I had them at a probably B minus before they signed Trey Mancini, and I think with Trey Mancini, I think B plus is probably where they're at, but that's just splitting hairs at this point. But yeah, B's a solid grade, I think. I mean, they missed out on Abreu. I thought that was a great fit.
That would have been a great fit.
They signed him. and they get, I don't know, a better catcher than Tucker Barnhart.
Yeah.
Those were two big areas I think they missed on. And then I mean the third base market wasn't really a market there for that. So I mean, they should have upgraded if they could have, but there was nothing there to upgrade with, unless they would have gotten Xander Bogaerts and moved him to third, or Carlos Correa and moved him to third. But I'm not going to hold that. I mean, they got one of the big four shortstops. Carlos Correa turned out to be absolute nightmare of a signing for two teams. He ended up with the third team. And yeah, so I think it's a solid grade for what was out there and what they did. They spent a lot of money. They got better. Where they're gonna be, when the season rolls along, I think they're gonna be less frustrating than last year, but they could still be 500 teams. I think Vegas had them at 77.5 wins.
Wow.
Was the over-under on the season. Okay. I want to say that. I don't know. I saw something earlier this week on people talking about win totals with the Cubs, so I thought Vegas came out with their win total. So I don't know. I think they have a good chance to be around 500 if they can put together a run. I think they're right in contention with the division.
Yeah.
I know people were upset about that, that this team's not a contender. Well, I still think they're another year away from being a full-on World Series contender, but they can at least compete and contend for the division title at the very least. Because what did St. Louis got? What, a C+ grade? The Brewers, what did they do? They got a C+ grade too.
Even like really the A's and the Marlins, like what did they do to warrant a C? I can see the Mets. They ranked them as an A-. I mean, they just pretty much bought. Teams like the Twins got a B+. I guess that was Correa. The Angels, I don't know what the Angels did that warranted a B+. If anything, that ship is sinking. I know Arnie Marino just came out and said he's not going to sell the team now after they had been in months of deliberations with potential buyers. Now he's not selling the team. But I think we're bearing the lead here. The White Sox, out of 30 teams, were ranked by having the worst offseason with the one and only F ranking. Vinny, do you think that's justified and fair?
No, I mean, we've talked about how bad this offseason's been, right? That they didn't.
Oh yeah.
They have a hole at second still. They have a hole in right field, and they're plugging it with rookies and a guy that has not good out there in that position. I don't know. I mean, God, what did even Colorado do to get a?
That's the other thing.
I don't anything. I don't.
That's what I'm kind of.
They got a D grade.
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Boston.
So
I don't know.
I mean, they signed Benintendi.
Yeah.
They signed Mike Clevenger. But they tried with getting pitching. But yeah, I think. F is pretty harsh, but I mean, I'm sure a lot of their fans would say that's not harsh enough.
Yeah,
I think it's probably fair because I mean, you don't know if Mike Clevenger's even going to pitch. So what was it then? Just Andrew Benintendi? That was it.
Right.
So and they needed outfield help, but I feel like they needed it more on the right side than the left. Because you can put anybody in left field, right? That's the old adage.
Yeah,
the worst fielder plays left field.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think right field was probably more important, and second base. The fact that they still didn't bring back Harrison just blows my mind. So yeah, I think it's kind of fair on that grade. What about you?
All right. I think you nailed it. Yeah, I mean, I'd say a D overall. I don't know. F to me is like they literally did nothing, and they did bring in Benintendi. I think they're maybe putting too many eggs in that basket. But other than that, they didn't really do anything. So yeah, I guess that's all there is for baseball. We'll have to, spring training is now 2 weeks away. We got the World Baseball Classic starting soon in about 2 weeks. I think they have to report for that as well if they're going to play. yeah, baseball is getting closer. The days are getting longer. Weather's still shitty, but we'll see what happens.
Yep.
All right, let's recap the NFL this week, shall we?
Yes.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Manures of the Midway, where the guys talk the pile of horse crap that is the Chicago Bears.
When you consider the other choices, manure is actually pretty refreshing.
All right. I'm really disappointed. My streak of 100% predictions for the NFL playoffs has ended. This week, Vinny and I both picked the Eagles to win in the 49ers game. They did. I felt really bad for the 49ers, though, that Brock Purdy got hurt. And I know people were crucifying him on Twitter saying, get back out there, rub some dirt on it. And then it came out that he had a torn UCL muscle in his shoulder or arm. Which, no wonder he couldn't throw the ball.
Well, wasn't he? I thought people said he was throwing on the sideline, and that's
He
why
was.
people were upset.
We're
it was like kind of
upset.
like the old
Shades
the
of Jay Cutler. Yeah.
Yeah, when he
Yeah,
was
not
out
the guy you
dancing
wanna-
that night, and people were upset. But I
Yeah.
saw that he might require also Tommy John surgery, which is just an absolute unfortunate mess for him.
So I would say, I don't know how much longer Trey Lance has on his rehab, and Jimmy G for that matter too, but Aaron Rodgers, 49er in the future maybe?
They can't get Tom Brady anymore. He's gone.
No, I would okay. Speaking of Tom Brady, we also have Tom Brady retired. I don't know about you. I am so done. Like, I don't care about Tom Brady anymore. I saw that. I'm like, great. He retired. Don't care. I'm so disgusted by that 80 for Brady movie that's coming out. You have 4.
Oh, come on.
That looks so bad. And there's no why. Why did that have to be made? I feel like that was just sitting on a shelf somewhere, and they're finally like, oh, crap, we better release it before the film, if, it's not film anymore, but before it goes bad. And you have so many wonderful, famous, well-known, award-winning actresses in that movie that it's like, why would you subject yourself to this? Besides a paycheck, probably.
They're just having fun with it, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I did see Giselle's tweet. Congratulations, Tom Brady. I hope you have fun in your next phase of your life. I thought was pretty comical.
That's great.
Man gave it all up for another year in football and finished with a losing record and lost his wife. So, pretty interesting there.
Although he said he has no regrets in his farewell speech.
Yeah, okay.
And it's like, well, I think you probably regret coming back that last time.
Yeah,
just
maybe just a
little
few
bit.
regrets. And in addition to that, we also had the Bengals-Chiefs game. The Chiefs won. I was really pulling for the Bengals there at the end. That penalty at the end, I don't know. Do you consider that a late hit? Or,
yes.
The guy was rolling.
he was out of bounds and pushed him. What? Even his own player is standing there like, what are you doing? Like, you see that on the sideline there. I don't get why everybody was up in arms about it. That was a textbook block. That was a late hit. I mean, that's textbook for a quarterback.
But I thought what I read was that they were saying the late hit was when they both fell and rolled, and then he kind of hit him on the ankle as he came over on his roll. Are they saying that the late hit was the push?
Well, I don't. What was after? Did it?
I thought it was
talking
the roll.
about afterwards.
I thought it was
after the push.
I thought the push was inbounds. He gets pushed out. They both fall.
The push was out of bounds.
Okay, that I didn't realize because I thought it was that the defending player rolled with him, and then as they came up on the roll, he kind of came down on his ankle. I thought that's what the penalty was for. It was for the push.
I thought it was because he was like 5 yards out of bounds and started pushing him, and his own player's like don't, like, he's standing there with his arms up.
Okay. We do have the guys from the Sports Stove podcast, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in the chat. They said clear penalty, bad officiating all game doesn't mean the penalty should not have been called, and yes, it was on the push. All right, see, there you go. That's why I should have devoted 100% of my attention to the game as opposed to like 25%. But it's kind of, I was
you didn't
really
have a rooting interest in it.
No, it's hard. It's really hard. I mean, Joe Burrow, I do like Joe Burrow, but and then there was the whole thing with the Cincinnati mayor was calling what did he call Kansas City? He called it wasn't the Arrow. It wasn't Arrowhead. It was going to be Burrowhead or something. It was really
I think
strange.
that, yeah.
And then I think was it Kelsey was going off about that after the game after they won. So I don't know. So yeah, we'll discuss more big Super Bowl stuff next week when we have Jordan on. But we have a Super Bowl of Kansas City and Philly. Do you have any rooting interest in either team?
I like both teams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Matt
I don't
Nagy?
know. I don't know if I want him to win.
No,
I
yeah,
don't
it's kind of
care.
like, Yeah.
Yeah,
I like Patrick
don't care.
Mahomes.
Either
but
team. I like both quarterbacks. I
do like Jalen Hurts.
There's a lot of fun storylines in there. Andy Reid going up against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Although he's already got a Super Bowl, so it's not like he's got to get past his old team to get his first Super Bowl. He's already got one. Yeah. The Eagles kind of turning it around after their rebuild.
Yep.
Either way, I don't really care. It should be hopefully a fun game. It should be
I think it will.
Between both teams.
I like similar to you. I don't really care. I like Patrick Mahomes. I like Jalen Hurts. There's not one team on it in particular. I guess if I had to pick one, I think maybe I'm leaning more towards the Eagles just because I want to see Jalen Hurts do well because it reminds me of like Justin Fields and hopefully being able to turn it around in 1 year. Because I just remember last year Jalen Hurts was kind of an afterthought. Like they didn't really know if they even had a real quarterback in him, at least from what I remember reading. And then this year it was like they got people to surround them and look at where they're at now. They're going to the Super Bowl. So, I guess in that regard, I'm leaning towards the Eagles, but I feel like I enjoy it more when there's one team in it that I'm like very strongly advocating for, where I feel like a lot of Super Bowls lately, it's just like, whatever. I don't really care, so yeah. I don't know if that's me getting older or me just not really liking as many teams as I used to as a kid. I don't know. But
it's just depression of the Bears never making it. I think
it's
is
seeping
just
in,
setting in, and we're just like, the Bears aren't in it. It's depressing and whatever.
Yeah.
Should we make picks?
Yes, let's make picks. Who you got?
I'm gonna say Chiefs.
Chiefs. All right. Well, I'm gonna be contrarian. I'm gonna go Eagles just to spice it up a little bit here. So we got Eagles.
We got to break the tie, right?
Yeah, well, we're both 11-1 in our picks. So, so Vinny's got the Chiefs. I'll take the Eagles, and we will see what happens in 2 weeks there. All right, I got nothing else for sports. You got anything else?
I was gonna say, for the football, did you hear about not Justin Fields, but Patrick Mahomes, senior?
Oh, he was on the score this week. Yes.
Yeah, he was on the score this week and said that Ryan Pace had said that he was going to draft Patrick Mahomes, and then draft night comes and he drafts Mitch Trubisky.
Who
isn't that
on
odd?
His third team. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to listen to the interview, but I know that interview and that story was all over Chicago news out here this week. I am in the camp though that Ryan Poles and Matt Nagy would have ruined Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think he would be nearly as good as he is with the Chiefs.
Would Matt Nagy have even gotten a chance to ruin him? Remember, John Fox was the coach at the time, so
talk about a golden parachute right there.
Right?
Yeah, I don't I almost feel like he's got to be thankful he didn't end up in the dumpster fire that is the Chicago Bears organization. Maybe next year will be different. I mean, they literally have everything going for them this offseason with the most salary cap available. They have the number 1 pick. They have a quarterback that we think could be doing well. Everything is going their way. So if this doesn't work out, I'm thinking there's some type of curse or something. I don't know, Maybe when the Cubs unleashed their curse and they broke it, it just kind of went south down Lakeshore Drive to everyone else. Yeah, it literally did go to everyone else.
Right?
So yeah, I don't know. It was very interesting to see just another case of Ryan Pace not knowing what the hell he's doing. I mean, that has been well documented so many times. This is just another instance of that. So Mitch Trubisky, who I don't even know if he's going to be on the Steelers next year. Who knows where he's going to end up? He might be in the CFL for all I know next year. I don't know. Or the USFL, whatever.
He'll be in the NFL. Teams need a quarterback at some point.
They'll need a backup that can throw the ball and run, and he can at least
do
those things, just not well. So, yeah. All right. I got nothing.
All right, Justin, are
All
you
right.
ready?
I am ready for the
You've been
secret
waiting all
special
week.
guest. Oh my God, who's it gonna be?
All right, here
Oh,
we
man.
go.
All right, I'm waiting for him to
Now
pop up.
it's time for
The name is Bond.
James Bond.
James Bond trivia.
I don't know anything about James Bond.
Contestants Vincent Francis Jankowitz III and Justin McAwee. Here's your host, Vincent Francis Jankowitz IV.
You do have a suit coat on. I told you.
I sure do.
Vinny, that was wonderful, but I don't know anything about James Bond.
Oh, it's okay. I
Okay.
set it up so it won't be that bad.
Okay.
We are doing welcome to whatever baseball and whatever. This week we are doing in honor of our third chair who is not here and has been on sabbatical since the birth of his son, and before a little bit before that, we are doing James Bond trivia because he is a diehard James Bond fan. Justin. Now, I had Greg help me out with these questions. Yes, they were hard and difficult, but I did try to make them a little bit easier for you to be able to maybe get.
Okay.
There's 5 categories here. We have Tell Me the Truth, Let's Not Talk Shop, that are true-false questions, so you have a 50% chance of getting it right. Pop Shaken Not Stirred is a pop culture reference with James Bond tied into it. It's Just a Number is a answer that is requiring only a number. The name's Bond, James Bond, is questions related to James Bond and the actor who played James Bond. And What's Your Game, Mr. Bond, is all references to the game, video games of James Bond. So,
Okay.
Justin, I think you will be able to maybe get some of these. At
I
least
get
the
some,
100s,
yeah.
I think you'll be able to get. Maybe some of the ones later on. But I have our guest as Pretzel Vince. He was reluctant enough to join us in competing against you, Justin.
Oh man.
In this game here, Justin, if you cannot see, it is Agent 000 because that is how many James Bond films you have seen. And Pretzel Vince, you are the code name O because O stands for old, and that is what you are. So. Without further ado, Justin, because you have not seen any Bonds, I will let you go first on this Jeopardy.
All right, I'm gonna go. What's your game, Mr. Bond?
Hey,
All
Yes.
hey
Hold on.
guys.
Your dad's
I
got something to say.
right. Yes.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Hey guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm getting feedback. I'm getting double feedback.
Uh-oh.
I'm getting double feedback. So what should I
hold on,
be in?
hold on.
Should I be in StreamYard or
Nope. That help? Did that fix anything? Did that help?
Okay, there we go.
All right, I fixed it. We're good. All right.
All right.
Vinny, I don't know, so I'm gonna go. What's your game, Mr. Bond, for 100?
All right. Nintendo 64's GoldenEye 007
jeez.
developers renamed James Bond's iconic Walter PPK-2 blank for legal reasons.
What is the PP7? Am I correct?
That is correct. Good job, Justin.
All right.
Good job.
Woo.
Justin,
Yes.
next category.
Oh, I get to keep going. All right, I'm gonna keep going. What's your game, Mr. Bond? 200. This is the only way I'm gonna get questions right here.
This popular 2004 James Bond video game's name was inspired by the meaning behind Albert R. Broccoli and Harry Saltzman's creation of their production company Eon in 1963.
Would that be 007 Nightfire?
No,
Oh, I don't know.
that is not. It is Everything or Nothing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I guess I should have let Pretzel Vince get a chance, but I don't think.
Hey, that's okay. I had no clue on that one.
All right. Sorry, Justin. All right, Pretzel Vince, you are up.
Let's go. Tell me the truth. Let's not talk shop for 100.
for what?
100. 100, he said.
100.
100?
Yeah.
All right. In 2015 Spectre, James finds out that the leader of an Eagle cabal is his brother. After informing his brother of their relation to each other, they then team up together to stop the elusive Johann van der Smoot from flooding the Earth. True or false?
False.
That is correct. False. This was the plot for Austin Powers' Goldmember.
All right.
All right, Pretzel Vince.
Let's go with Pop Shaken Not Stirred for 100. For 100.
In 1963's Dr. No, the opening song Three Blind Mice is the same song used as the theme song for this famous vaudeville comedy trio.
The Three Stooges.
That is correct. Who are the Three Stooges?
Mo,
Pretzel
Larry,
Vince,
and
you're on a
Curly,
roll.
or Shemp.
Right?
Okay. Yep. Pop Shaken Not Stirred for 200.
In 1973, famous Beatles producer George Martin told James Bond producer Harry Saltzman that they could use the song Live and Let Die in the movie unless it was performed by this famous Beatle and his newly formed rock band. Who's the Beatle and his rock band?
Paul McCartney and Wings.
That is correct. Who is Paul McCartney and Wings? All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
Pretzel
have to
Vince.
have it in a question. Okay, Poppin' Shaken Not Stirred for 300.
This famous English actor and comedian officially replaced Desmond Llewellyn's character Q in 2002's Die Another Day after making a brief appearance as the character R alongside Llewellyn in 1999's The World Is Not Enough.
Who is John Cleese?
That is correct. Pretzel Vince.
Pop Shaken Not Stirred 400.
In 1965, this famous American outlaw country singer wrote and submitted a song for the opening credit sequence for Thunderball, though it was rejected and never used in the film.
Who's Johnny Cash?
That is correct. You are
I
on
feel
a
like
roll, sir.
You guys
Justin,
are speaking another language right now. No, I'm just going to sit back and relax. You guys keep going.
Pop Shaken Not Stirred 500.
The role of villain Max Zorin in 1985's A View to Kill was originally written for this famous English singer-songwriter, but he ultimately declined the role.
Oh, I think I know this one.
Do you
Who
pass?
is... No. I'm going to say... who is Mick Jagger?
That is incorrect. Justin, would you like to answer?
I'm going to go, who is David Bowie?
Ooh, good answer.
Oh, look at that, and he's on the board. Yes,
Good
who is
answer.
David Bowie is correct.
That's just a guess, because I know
Okay,
that
Justin.
was... he was... Yeah. Let's go... What's your game, Mr. Bond, for 300? Because I don't know any of these other questions.
In 1999, EA released the video game Tomorrow Never Dies, still to this day only available on this one gaming platform.
I know this because I used to rent this video game. That is it was on the PlayStation 1.
That is correct. Good job, Justin.
Thank you. All right, I'll take 400 for same category, I guess. That's like I said, that's the only stuff I'm going to know.
Sean Connery's last credit as James Bond was lending his likeness and voice to this 2005 EA-produced video game based on the 1963 film of the same name, available on PS2, Xbox, and GameCube.
Would that be What Is From Russia with Love?
That is
Wow.
Good answer.
All right. I remember the commercial. That's about it. All right, last one. I'll take that one too.
IO Interactive, best known for developing the Hitman and Kane and Lynch's famous franchises, is currently working on the next James Bond video game under the working title of...
All right, let me think here. Is it Project 007?
It is. Good job, Justin.
All right. I know
Good
my
answer.
video game stuff. All right. Oh, now I got to pick something else. Okay. It's just a number for 100.
What is James Bond's code number?
007.
Oh, man. Come on.
Thank you,
I
Vinny.
told you the number 100s were easy. All right.
I'll take 200. It's just a number.
Alec Trevian, portrayed by Sean Penn, had this 00 code name in the movie GoldenEye.
That would be 006.
Ooh.
That is correct.
GoldenEye I've only seen part of, but yes. All right, give me 300. It's just a number.
How many actors/actresses have appeared in both a James Bond movie and an episode of Seinfeld?
Ooh.
Ooh. Actors and actresses. I'm gonna go 5.
I honestly don't remember the answer. This is great. 5 is correct.
All right. Woo!
Terry Hatcher, Denise Richards, Ivana
Milosevic, yeah.
Jill St. John, Anthony Stark.
All right.
Good job.
Look at talk about a shot in the dark on that one.
Right?
I'll take 400.
All right,
I guess
Justin.
I gotta stock up as many points as I can before your dad gets back on the board here. I'll take 400.
Right? All right. George Lazenby was offered a contract to star in how many James Bond films, but ultimately turned it down and eventually quit the role before the release of On Her Majesty's Secret Service in 1969.
I'm gonna go 3.
That's incorrect. Pretzel Vince? You don't have
I'm
to
gonna
answer
say
if you
4.
don't want to.
I'm going to say 4.
That is incorrect. It is 7.
Oh, wow.
007.
Gotcha.
All right. Justin.
I'll
still
take
on
500, I guess. Yeah. What the heck?
How many total skydives did it take to film the end of the cold open sequence in 1979's Moonraker?
Now, if I don't answer, do I still lose points?
No.
Then I choose not to answer.
I'm going to say pass,
Pretzel
too.
Vince?
Pass.
You're going to pass.
Yeah.
88.
Oh,
Only
God.
35 seconds of the footage was able to be filmed per jump.
All right.
All right, Justin.
Yes. The name's Bond,
True or
James Bond for 100.
Oh. Which Bond actor filmed a different gun barrel sequence for each of his movies?
Oh, God, I have no idea. Since it's only 100, I'll say Daniel Craig.
That is correct.
Whoa!
All right. I'll take 200. What the heck for that one?
During filming of You Only Live Twice, a local paparazzi photographer in Japan took an over-the-stall shot of which Bond actor taking a dump at a public restroom?
Oh,
I'm not even going to answer because I have no idea. So I
Pretzel
I'm gonna
Vince for the
pass.
steal?
During the film of You Only Live Twice, a local popular
Who's the Bond actor in You Only Live Twice?
You Only Live Twice. The James Bond, it was Sean Connery.
That is correct. Good job. You're on the board. You're back. You're back in the seat. All right.
The name's of Bond, James Bond, 300.
For 300?
Yep.
In 1983, 2 rival Bond films were released in theaters only months apart. Eon's Octopussy and Kevin McElroy's Never Say Never Again. Which 2 legendary actors portrayed James Bond in these respected movies?
Octopussy would have been, I think, Roger Moore. Kevin McClory's Never Say Never Again. Never Say Never Again. Never Say Never Again. I'm going to say Sean Connery. I'm going to say Sean Connery. Roger Moore and Sean Connery. Okay.
Yep. That is correct. Sean Connery was in Never Say Never Again, and you were correct on Roger Moore's. It was in Octopussy.
400. The name's Bond, James Bond.
This New Zealand actor auditioned to play James Bond in 1986, but his screen test did not impress producer Albert R. Broccoli. This same actor went on to star in Jurassic Park years later.
Oh.
I think I know this one.
I'm going to say pass.
Should.
Would that be Who is Sam Neill?
Yes.
That is correct.
I couldn't remember his name. I could picture the actor. I couldn't remember his name.
All right, we'll finish that category off.
This American actor had 2 successful auditions with Eon and was set to replace Roger Moore as James Bond after 1981's For Your Eyes Only. Ultimately, Moore decided to return to hit the role, and this actor lost the chance to be the first American Bond.
Ooh.
I have no idea. I'm going to pass on this one. No
I'm
clue.
going to pass also.
Who's James Brolin?
Oh, wow. Okay.
I heard he auditioned. I didn't know it was for that movie, though. Okay.
All right, I'll take Talk Shop for 200.
Yep.
David Hedison and Jeffrey Wright are the only 2 actors to have portrayed CIA agent operative Felix Leiter more than once across all the Bond films.
True, I guess. I don't know. True?
It is true.
Okay.
No.
All right, 300.
In 2021's No Time to Die, Lashana Lynch's character Nomi became the first ever female 00 agent to appear in a James Bond movie.
I'm going to say that's true.
That is false. An unnamed female 00 agent appeared in Thunderballs 1965 and The World Is Not Enough in 1999.
All right.
Pretzel Vince gets the points on that one because there's no point for him to steal the question because there's only one other answer. All right, Pretzel Vince, you're on the board.
Oh, boy. Yeah, okay. Compose.
5-time Academy Award-winning composer John Barry composed scores for 11 James Bond movies, but never received an Academy Award nomination for any of his Bond scores. True or false?
Let's see. Okay, 5-time for 11 James Bond, but never received an Academy Award for nomination for any of the Bond scores. Wow. I'm going to say true.
It is true. Never even a nomination.
Yep.
All right, last one. In 1986, Eon cast Pierce Brosnan to replace Roger Moore, James Bond, for The Living Daylights. Brosnan ultimately had to back out of the role due to his contract with television show Remington Steele's cancellation reversal with NBC. True or false?
True.
This is true. All right, gentlemen. We are now down to the final Jeopardy question.
Oh, man.
Okay.
There are 6 James Bond characters. Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, Daniel Craig, and George Lazenby. Which one is Greg's favorite James Bond?
Oh.
Write your answer down. Write your bet down. That's why I have markers for you, Justin. That's why I requested that.
I got post-it notes here. Okay. I just saw one of his
to play.
Oh, this is disappointing, Vinny. All right, I'm gonna guess. I'll wager this much, and I'm gonna say it's.
Oh boy, this could be. I'm just might be overthinking it.
Let me know when you're both ready.
All right, hold on.
Ready?
All right, I'm ready.
All right, what is your answer, Justin, since you're in the lead?
So my answer is Pierce Brosnan, and I wagered 100 points.
Okay. Pretzel Vince?
Daniel Craig. Can you see that? 1900. Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah, it's Daniel Craig.
It is none.
Really?
Greg's favorite Bond actor is Sean
Connery.
So wait, that means I won?
Yes, Justin, you
I've
are
never
the winner.
even seen a Bond movie.
Pretzel Vince, you were a giant disappointment. May your family be ashamed of you, and
Hey,
Yada.
I never played any of these video games.
That's true. That's the only thing I had going for me.
And then he got on a roll.
Yeah. Well,
All
Justin,
right.
congratulations. You are
Thank
a James
you.
Bond expert of some sort. You can, although you
Apparently.
didn't know Greg's favorite Bond character.
He tweeted something today about Pierce Brosnan, so I thought maybe that was
Pierce
a
Brosnan
hint.
was number 4 on his ranking, and
Wow.
Daniel Craig was actually number 5.
Wow.
Really? Because I know his grandmother loved Sean Connery.
I was going to say, he named his kid after James
Yeah,
Bond.
it goes Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan.
He
Daniel
had
Craig,
Roger
and then
Moore
George
as second.
Lazenby.
He had Roger
Moore?
Moore as second. Oh,
Yeah.
God. He was probably the worst James Bond.
I feel horrible saying this, but I still have no interest in ever watching a James Bond movie.
Poor shame.
Have you ever watched any, Jay?
I've seen most of GoldenEye. I liked it. Was
No.
I liked
You got to
GoldenEye.
start with Dr. No and
Okay.
work your way up to GoldenEye.
Okay.
You don't have to, Justin. Don't. Dr. No isn't that good. I'm sorry.
Oh, it was the beginning.
Dr. No was probably
franchise.
the worst villain they had. I'm sorry.
3 Blind Mice. You can't go wrong with that song.
Well,
Hey,
okay, but
by the way, first of all, a couple things before we get off. Jay, great answer with Bears 87. Ed
Thank you.
Obradovich.
Thank you.
I was impressed.
Thank
I figured
you.
you were going to come with somebody newer.
No.
Eddie O, that was a great
I
answer.
go with the vintage.
Yeah, evidently.
after
with
he
the
had to
vintage.
look it up.
No, there's no proof of that.
The other thing is, I was listening to the score today, and they were talking about, well, they had Wani on,
Mm-hmm.
and he said, you guys make all these, projections about people wanting the number 1 draft pick. But what happens if nobody wants it?
Yeah.
You better have somebody to draft.
I heard that take. Yeah, that's a very realistic possibility, but I think because of the way there are good quarterbacks available, I think the thing that helps the Bears out the most is you have 2 teams in the same division with high draft picks that need a quarterback that essentially you could have them pitting. They're not going to want to sit around and say, well, I'll let Houston get CJ Stroud and that's okay with me. So you have that aspect. If they weren't in the same division, I'd buy into that theory more. But because they're in the same division, I don't think either team is, especially because the Colts, they're really a quarterback away. They have a pretty good team. I mean, they were in the playoff hunt 2 years ago. Last year, a lot of bad things happened, and they've been patching it with old veteran quarterbacks that haven't worked out.
Right.
And maybe they can lure Tom Brady out of retirement. I don't know.
God, don't even.
But I think they're
don't
more
even
of a
go there.
quarterback away, but they're sitting at 4. Anything could happen. I mean, you have plenty of teams that need a quarterback. The Raiders are looking for a quarterback. Carolina still needs a quarterback. So there are teams that need quarterbacks that might jump up to that 1, and then, okay, now that's a quarterback off the list. Now who's sitting at number 2? Indianapolis's rival. They can't afford to let them draft and have, the next Patrick Mahomes in their own division. And, as a GM, you can't let that happen. The owner's not going to allow that. You're going to lose your job for that.
Well, and again, like Wani said, when you draft somebody, that's your guy. There's never going to be anything of, well, everybody wanted Russell Maryland, as Wani was saying, when they drafted in Dallas. But there's going to be one guy that's going to say, yeah, but I want to take this running back over here. Or, everybody's all in. That's your guy. But he made a great point about who are the other teams going to draft. They have needs, granted. Bears, at this point, I don't know if they really need a quarterback. Maybe they feel otherwise. I don't know. But from what I saw, Joe Public, I don't think they're going to go for a quarterback. I think either offense or defense line. All right. So you go down the list and you say, who's going to draft who? And okay, everybody's talking about Bryce Young. Do the Colts feel he's the guy, or do they feel there's another guy out there that didn't have the talent that Bryce Young had and did show that he's a good quarterback? All right. And so, he made some good points when he did about, having the number one draft choice. And not every year, everybody's going to be banging on a door saying, we got to trade. Unless you're Ryan Pace, he traded up, he traded everything, just move up a spot. But, I thought it was a real good conversation. And, these people that think the Bears are just going to get, a treasure chest thrown at them, they better be ready for reality. People may come knocking and realize that, hey, the Bears don't need a quarterback. They're going to go to defense or offensive linemen. So I don't have to offer them anything because I know that when it comes to my spot, the guy I want to get is going to be there. It's just something to think about.
They also don't know that.
Right. No, I agree with you.
At number, and just looking at Indianapolis, because, it's Houston's going to take a quarterback. I mean, I can't imagine they're going to draft anything else. They're going to take a quarterback. So that's the first quarterback off the line. If you're Indianapolis, you can't sit there and say, well, my rival just got their number one choice. I hope it's not my number one choice. Then you're screwed as a GM. You're now. Oh well, okay. I guess I'll take Will Levis or C.J. Stroud because they were number 2 on my list, and now my number one choice is sitting with my rival. You think Chris Ballard's really gonna sit there and just hope Houston doesn't take his pick? Because he already said they're not doing the veteran quarterback thing anymore. He already came out, was pretty strong on his stance on what he wants to do.
Who's their number one quarterback? Is it Bryce Young? Is it C.J. Stroud? Or is it the guy from Georgia, Stenson?
Well, no, he's not a top quarter. It's Will Levis right now. They're the consensus 1, 2, 3.
I'm just saying though, the quarterbacks available. Everybody's saying Bryce Young. And again, I'm just a regular Joe, but from what I saw with Bryce Young, is he in the same area that, the quarterback that the Bears have right now, Justin Fields, that Justin Fields had talent around him. They made him look good. All right. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's a bust or anything, but I'm just saying he had a lot of talent around him. He comes to the Bears now, they got nothing. Bryce Young, is he the guy? He's going to a team that's got nothing if he goes to Houston. All right. And what if you watched the game on Sunday with the Chiefs? What were they saying? Mahomes has nobody to throw to. Guys were dropping the ball. If it wasn't for
he's got one of the best tight ends in the history of the game.
He does.
Such a false
and that
statement.
saved him. And then the other guy, Valdez, whatever his name was, Scantling, he had a hell of a game. All right. So bring him back down to earth. Now you got one guy, Kelsey. And, I'm just saying that as far as I'm concerned, until the draft actually happens, we can sit here all day. And like Wani said, it's all fantasy land. But
it is.
For Bear fans to think that, we're going to get 20 draft choices for, the number one pick. Yeah. They may not get anything, and they may have to draft at number 1.
They may not, but I think where Indianapolis is at, where Houston at is going to play into this. I think they're going to be able to trade back because again, it's not like Indianapolis is at 3. They're at 4. Someone could jump them to 3. Right. And take another quarterback. Now I guess I'm left with this guy, my third quarterback. So, again, I think I think how it all played out with Houston and Indianapolis both needing quarterbacks, both being at the top, I think that helps them. I don't know if they'll get, a first round for next year, or if they're going to swap first rounds and get a second round, maybe a later pick or whatever. Indianapolis has got 2 first-round picks. Maybe they can get those 2 first-round picks. Who knows? I think that it's still a possibility that more than likely than not, they'll trade back. I think that's still a realistic possibility. Now, are they going to get 2 first rounds from this year, a first round from next year, and a third round this year? I don't think so. I don't know if there's going to be a treasure trove. It would be great. I don't know. I'm not going to get my hopes up for that. But I think it's still a realistic possibility that, yes, the Bears can trade down and still get a good amount of picks. Maybe not the pie-in-the-sky treasure trove of multiple first rounds. We'll see. How, especially because they still have to have the combine, and they're just having the Shrine Bowl right now. So there's a lot of time between now and then. And yeah, we'll see. But I think, and quarterbacks signing, free agents and stuff like that, they got to fill holes. Maybe Derek Carr goes to Indianapolis. They pivot on what they wanted to do, and they end up getting a quarterback. So that's another team off the board getting a quarterback. We'll see. There's a lot, like you said, there's a lot of time between now and then, and it's all fantasy and pie in the sky stuff.
Yeah, I just got a feeling that this ain't going to work out the way everybody thinks it should work out. The Bears are going to get all these drafts. I could see the Bears actually, the way the Bears are, nobody's going to take it, or the Colts are going to trade with Houston. Houston's got the second pick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see something
Houston
like that.
Houston and Indianapolis aren't going to trade. They're in the division together.
Yeah. But I just look at it that this ain't going to work out the way people think. The Bears are probably going to have to make a first-round pick. And I hope they go.
I agree to disagree.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. And you know what? It's all projection. This is,
All right. Well, I appreciate the spirited debate there. Very, very well done, guys.
We could go on longer, but I know.
That's all right. All right.
And I'm retired, and you're not. So.
No, we are not. All right. So first off, if you want to write in the show, tell us what you thought of James Bond trivia or what the Bears are doing or anything else. Feel free to leave us a comment at youtube.com/baseball and whatever. Tweet us at baseball and what. You can reach us at Instagram at baseball and whatever. TikTok at baseball and whatever. Email the show baseball and whatever at gmail.com. And lastly, write in, text in, leave a voicemail, 1-913-808-3278. That number again is 1-913-808-FART. All right, Vinny, thank you, Double O V, for Vinny setting all this up. Pretzel Vince, thanks for coming on.
Names, Justin.
Yeah,
not a problem. I enjoyed it, guys, as always.
Thank you.
Go
ahead, Vinny.
Yes, thank you, Pretzel Vince. I did have one more fun, interesting fact. It's common knowledge that Jesse Owens, this is from Daniel Victor at SlyDano70 on Twitter. It's common knowledge that Jesse Owens embarrassed the Nazis by breaking world records and winning the gold medals at the 1936 Olympics. But did you know the silver medalist in the 200, who also broke a world record, kind of became a footnote in the history due to Owens' greatness, was Mac Robinson. Mac's brother was none other than Jackie, who went on to break baseball's color barrier transcend the game. So
very cool.
Fun little fact for Black History Month.
There you go.
There you go.
All right. Well, Vinny, thank you. Next week we'll be back. We'll have Jordan on. We'll talk Super Bowl predictions. I'm sure I'm going to carry this James Bond wind into everything else we do the rest of this year on the podcast.
You better.
There you go.
You better.
Ready to go. And we'll be back next week with more baseball and whatever. Take care, everybody. See you next week. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.